Hello, my name is Rick Bergen, and I'm a PhD candidate in the School of Business and Leadership at Regent University in the United States. Even though I'm studying in the USA, I'm a Canadian citizen working and studying in Canada and Brazil. Being with you at this 10th International Conference is a great honor and privilege. Thank you to everyone who made this possible. During the next few minutes, I look forward to presenting some findings from my original research on daily spiritual experiences and personal flourishing within 2 age groups. I will also suggest some implications from the results. I recently worked on this qualitative research project, but my interest in the relationship between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing began several years ago. My work and studies are my passion. However, in 2016, I experienced trauma and challenges at work, and I lost my sense of direction. I became anxious, restless, and resentful. I wanted to recover my joy and vitality. On January 1st, 2017, I began to practice centering prayer, a form of Christian meditation. I devoted 20 minutes every morning to this practice, in addition to my other spiritual activities. I noticed a change in my mood, sleep, and outlook. Today, and all through the challenging pandemic season, I am flourishing. I am eager to start every morning. I enjoy my work. I'm grateful for my family, friends, and colleagues, and I appreciate my leisure time. I began to wonder if others experienced the connection between spirituality and flourishing. I explored my question with this quantitative research project. Underwood, in 2011, stated that daily spiritual experiences include the awareness of a connection with the transcendent through religious or theistic traditions. Rather than studying the effect of dramatic mystical events such as near-death experiences, seeing visions, or hearing voices, this scale that I used in this research asked for people's responses about their daily thoughts and awareness of a divine presence. Demir Baselik observed that many theories exist about how people flourish or achieve optimal lives. Muniz and Nieto noted that some people flourish even in chaotic situations, similar to how I flourished throughout the pandemic season. This study explored flourishing in relationship to daily spiritual experiences. Generational groups are classifications of people who have grown up in the world simultaneously and share a significant world events and social experiences that shape some of their perspectives similarly. This study explored 2 generational groups. While the traditionalists lived through one or both world wars, the baby boomers lived through the Cold War era. The traditionalists are notoriously hard workers. They value loyalty and are reputably responsible workers. Baby boomers are often workaholics who prefer work to boredom. I grouped the traditionalists and baby boomers into one category for this study as those born between 1900 and 1963. Younger people, sometimes called Gen X, Y, and Z, were born in the age of computers. The Gen Xers were born in the age of the first Apple and Tandy home computers. Unlike earlier generations, the Gen Xers expected a work-life balance. Gen Yers preferred independent learning and are attracted to companies embracing technology. Gen Zers grew up with Facebook and smartphones. This youngest generational subgroup questions traditional type studying because they expect instant feedback and customized learning. For this research project, I classified generations X, Y, and Z, born between 1964 and 2015, as categorically different from their traditionalist baby boomer predecessors. Many studies show correlations between spiritual health and flourishing, but conflicting reports also exist. Sharif et al. In 2008 were concerned about the unreliability of self-report measures in empirical studies, contending that people's convictions are fluid when confronted with religious arguments. On the other hand, Esperandio et al. In 2018 thought that spirituality is critically important due to its proven health benefits. A review of the literature regarding spiritual experiences, flourishing, and generational groups led to 2 research questions and 2 research hypotheses. Research question 1. Does daily spiritual experiences differ by generational group? And research question 2. Is there a difference in flourishing by generational group? Research hypothesis 1. For the generational group traditionalist baby boomers, is there a positive relationship between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing? Research hypothesis 2. For the generational group, Gen X, Y, and Z, there is a positive relationship between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing. To determine the minimal acceptable sample size, I tested the correlation coefficient using Fisher's Z transformation. The resulting calculation determined that a minimum sample size of 30 participants per population is a commonly accepted value for a moderate sample size. This study analyzed data from 69 participants, slightly more than the moderate sample size for 2 populations. The instruments used for this study are the Daily Spiritual Experiences Scale by Underwood in 2011 and the Flourishing Scale by Diener et al. In 2009. Both are single-factor scales. Underwood, in 2011, developed the 16-item Daily Spiritual Experiences Scale to measure ordinary daily experiences, such as gratitude, mercy, and a sense of being connected to God. Diener et al. In 2009 developed the 7-item Flourishing Scale to measure psychosocial and social well-being by inviting participants to evaluate their relationships, purposefulness, and optimism. After a Human Subjects Review Board approved the research proposal, I sent an invitation to participate in this study with a link to an online survey site. Using convenience and snowball sampling methods, I invited all 248 subscribers to my weekly email to participate and to forward the invitation to their friends. I repeated the process for 2 weeks. The audience I invited included a wide range of people from both generational groups who live in North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. 69 participants clicked on the link, filled out all 25 questions anonymously, and knew their responses would be used in this research. I used the computer program SPSS version 29 to test the research questions with t-tests, or univariate analysis of variance, to compare the data of the 2 groups. In answer to research questions 1 and 2, the results indicated there was no significant difference in daily spiritual experiences or in flourishing by generational group. I used the correlations test in SPSS version 29 to determine each generational group's relationship between the daily spiritual experiences and flourishing. Research hypothesis 1. The 42 traditionalist baby boomer participants indicated a strong correlation between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing. Research hypothesis 2. Likewise, the 27 Gen X, Y, and Zers reported a positive relationship between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing. Both the traditionalist baby boomers and the Gen X, Y, and Zers reported similar variations in daily spiritual experiences and personal flourishing. However, both age groups also reported a strong correlation between their daily spiritual experiences and their sense of personal flourishing. The people who practiced more daily spiritual experiences reported flourishing more than those who practiced less. Didino et al. In 2019 noted that when personal flourishing exists in groups of people, it increases to societal flourishing. Practitioners seeking to improve well-being in a workplace or among a group might experiment by inviting volunteers to respond to the 2 survey instruments, the Daily Spiritual Experiences Scale and the Flourishing Scale, and then offer participants some spiritual practices they may incorporate into their daily routines. After a predetermined period, the practitioner may desire to offer the scales again so that together with the group, they could learn whether there were measurable improvements. One of the strengths of this research project is that it increased the understanding of the effects of daily spiritual experiences and flourishing among a diverse population spread over several countries. One limitation is that the convenience and snowball sampling cannot account for those who did not volunteer to complete the 25-question online survey. A second limitation is that the majority, 61% of the voluntary participants identified as traditionalist baby boomers, while only 39% indicated they were Gen X, Y, or Z. From the nature of the email invitation and snowball sampling methods, I do not know whether this is representative of those who were invited. Finally, the volunteers to the survey may tend to have a more positive personalities or some other character traits that may confound the generalizability of this research. To ameliorate some limitations, I suggest future research with multi-generational groups surveyed quarterly over the period of a year. This study examined the relationship between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing in two age groups, the traditionalist baby boomers and the Gen X, Y, and Zers. These findings revealed no significant difference between generational groups. This is important because it means we can't eliminate older people or younger people. They all identified equally in both of these categories. However, both groups also reported a strong positive correlation between daily spiritual experiences and flourishing. Both groups reported that more spiritual experiences were associated with higher levels of well-being. Previous research has suggested a link between spirituality or religion and flourishing, but some studies have challenged this claim. More research is needed to explore how daily spiritual experiences and flourishing vary among different populations. This study contributes to the existing literature by providing insights into how daily spiritual experiences and flourishing can help professionals in personal counseling and human resources to address and reduce burnout, depression, and anxiety among employees, and to enhance individual and group well-being, leading to more altruistic, generous, and flourishing employees and teams. Here are the references I referred to in this PowerPoint. And if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer them at this forum or by email. Thank you very much.